Hi kids, we are on to part 3 of our head sculpture project. So just picking up where I left off before, but I added a little bit more as you can see. So I have a before and after of the basic eye shape, and I'm going to show you how I created this eye from the beginning, which will actually be a little bit harder on the second one because I want the eyes to be symmetrical, but you can see I'm mimicking how there is an eye socket with an actual eyeball that fits into it to create the really three-dimensional rounded look of an eyelid. I'm probably going to keep adjusting this to get it just how I want, but you can see from every angle it's going to look like an eye because it's actually rounded. So you'll need to make sure that you really gouge down in there. It's kind of violent seeming, but just digging out enough of a hole to put a little eyeball in. And it's good to have some tools on hand here. Let's see, I need to adjust this a little bit. Sorry about that. Kind of a newbie at making videos. Anyway, so there's several different good tools in the art room. Your fingers are the best tools, as I said before, but they are not the best for every single thing that you need to do. So an awl or like any kind of a pointy tipped tool will be able to get into places that your hand can't, especially if you don't want to mess up your fingernails. So digging out with that. This kind of flat palette knife is really good for smoothing areas and also making some cuts. A very fine cutter. These would do some similar things, but the point helps. And then this wooden tool is really good for just a variety of motions. And I shaped a lot of the eye with this, so you'll see. Okay, setting those down for now. You need to make a little kind of a ball shape. It doesn't have to be circular depending on what works best for you. I'm making mine a bit more of, it's not a perfect circle, but you need to make it bigger than you think because most of it, like an actual eyeball, will be covered by the eyelid. So the next thing to do is create some little sort of flattened pieces that will function as the lower and upper eyelid. It is a little bizarre. It's definitely a little bit like doing kind of plastic surgery to do all of this, but you have to think about building up the structure and the layers of skin and everything. So I think I want the top lid to have a bit of a curve to it. It's kind of thin, and I want it to almost be like that shape. So there's a curve for where the eye goes. I might have to change this quite a bit, but you'll get the basic idea anyway. Right away you can tell that there's almost too much material here, but that's good because I'm going to use that excess to form it into the right shape and kind of spread it, infuse it into an eyebrow. I want more eyebrow over here, and I want this. Yeah, I think I might move this eyeball a little bit. You can see this tool helps me a lot. So let's see how it looks when I add this lower eyelid as well. I think I need to create a little bit of extra clay to sort of slide into that space underneath because I don't want to have like a hollow area down there. And so there's the basic shape. You can tell all I need to do now is start smoothing it. Again, you might need to look at a photo reference or your neighbors. Just kind of take a quick glance at your neighbors to see what is the shape of that eye, and you might need to look from different angles as you work, checking with them. So I think these are fairly symmetrically placed, but this one might need to be adjusted quite a bit to stick out more. It seems like it's kind of hollowed in there. But I'm just going to do enough to give you a sense of what you need to do. So you may be making your eyes like more protruded or more, I don't know, squinted, or someone who looks like they're smiling, so their upper lid or their lower lid would like come up a little bit. Regardless, you should follow this basic method, and you can just alter it as you go. I mean, according to what you want your person to look like. So this is he looks a little too squinty, so I'm pushing up the eyelid a little bit. And then the lower lid needs to kind of like disappear down a little bit into cheekbone. This will take more time to get it exactly matching than I want to spend on the video. The second eye just always takes a long time. You may expect to spend a couple of periods on the eyes alone. Don't rush it. Really try to get those eyes as nice as you can, in the shape of the eye socket and the eyebrow. Everything matters. It's possible that I just need to add more eyelid. So, okay, that'll work to give you the idea anyway. Similar technique on the mouth. We're going on to the mouth now. There's a lot of kind of like muscle around the mouth area that allows us to do so much movement there. So right now, it's kind of like a toothless guy. There's just not very much going on here. So you have to create not just the lips, but you have to think about the entire mouth area, which really does protrude. So you want to start it with a piece that you kind of flatten a little bit on one side. You can see where it's going to kind of fuse into the face and become that part of the jaw and mouth area around the lips. And it's okay if you have too much. Better to have too much than too little. The lower lip, probably a little smaller, and then you flatten and taper down this side that's going toward the chin. So you have this. Looks kind of funny right now, but that having too much will allow me to put it where I want. So, and shape it down and fuse it into that anatomically, I think is the way to say that, anatomically correct mouth area. So you can see I'm doing that. There's a lot around the mouth that you want to spend some time thinking about. Everybody has this little Cupid's bow thingy right here that controls the shape of the upper lip. I want this person to have a bit of a more childlike mouth, so smaller. Gonna keep pushing that into the face around there, looking at it from different angles, seeing, okay, is that realistic? Not quite yet. Then once you've got it how you want, then you need to take a really thin tool, maybe like this one, and just cut the center line where the mouth would open. Maybe you even want to have your mouth be open. That will be a whole different thing. We can talk about that in class if you really want to do that. And usually there's a bit of a extra kind of the decisive corners of the mouth. People have that, you know, that little thing. And usually the lower lip does stick out a little bit more than the upper lip. Or, no, the upper lip is usually a little bit, comes out a little more than the lower lip because of the way that the lower jaw, the teeth are underneath the upper. So I want that. I want to make this lower lip smaller and less protruding. I'm turning it so you can really see how it looks from the side, because it's one thing to do it from the front, it's another thing to do it from the side. This person looks like he had some Botox. That's not a natural expression. I need to keep working on it to kind of give him a more natural expression. It takes time, but I'm showing you the basics here. Okay, so I took away some of that lip, I squished it down there, it's starting to look a little bit more natural, and yeah, there's a lot of things to adjust on that. That's enough for today. This will take you a couple class periods probably to really get it just how you want for your own unique face. Okay, that will be all.